Hey everybody, how's it going? B Temple back again, and today we're gonna, take another look at a type of ration that I haven't done in quite some time. This is a food packet long range patrol, otherwise known as an LRP or a LRP ration. It's the United States, as the name implies, long range patrol ration with a freeze dried main, meant to be lightweight, easier to pack, but obviously you're gonna have to use water in order to rehydrate the meal. Very similar, much similar, I guess, to a meal cold weather or the older style, the ration cold weather. This particular one is from 1998. There's a lot of reviews online of 1998 LRPs. This usually understood to be probably the best iteration of the LRP ration from 1998, and they usually hold up really, really well. I reviewed one of these before. I believe it was Chicken Stew or Chicken a la King. I can't remember which one. I believe it's Chicken Stew. And sort of perusing through YouTube and online, I don't think Beef Stew, menu number 2 from this particular range from 1998, has ever been reviewed before. So I thought it'd be interesting to crack this one open and see what kind of components we have inside and see if the main has held up. I'm going to assume it has. It's most likely made by Mountain House, and it's going to be usually in good quality. I keep saying this is 1998. I'm going to make the assumption this is 1998. Because this all came from a lot of 1998 LRPs that I got at the one time. I think 6 or 7 different menus of them. And I guess the only way for us to tell 100% is once we open this up and see what the components are inside and see what the pack dates are. But we're going to make that assumption. So yeah, let's open this up and have a look inside. This is one of those times when the pack really did not want to give way, so this one was sealed pretty well. First we have a cocoa beverage powder, type 1 fortified. And yeah, the date on here, if you can just pick it up, 8246, the 246th day of 1998. Got ourselves one of the rectangular compressed granola bars. Now, from all the food bars I've had from United States rations, the granola one in my mind is the one that usually goes rancid the quickest, so I guess we'll see. And we've got pretty much one of the greatest United States ration items ever created. Got ourselves the oatmeal cookie, chocolate covered. Very much looking forward to having another one of these. We've got candy type 2, so I guess we'll see what that is. If I had to guess, I'm going to think it's Chuckles jelly candy, starch candy, based on the, I guess, the feel of the package. Got our standard USMRE spoon. Got our accessory packet. And we got our main. Beef stew, cooked dehydrated from the Oregon Freeze Dry Company, which is now Mountain House. And the vacuum seal on this is still absolutely perfect. So that bodes well. And that's it, guys. That's the whole meal right there. There's no isotonic drink, anything like that. I'm going to assume in the accessory packet there's probably going to be coffee. Possibly iced tea, I have no idea, but we'll figure it out. So let's get the tray out and open up some of these items and have a look at everything we got. Alright everyone, here we go. This is our menu number 2 beef stew LRP, all laid out. I was wrong, the candy was not Chuckles, it were these classic caramel milk caramels. It's a brand that you see from time to time in these older rations. It's a brand we don't usually have here. If I was growing up and you'd have caramels, you probably would have had Kraft, sort of square-shaped ones. But they don't smell too bad. They were incredibly difficult to get out of the package. So I don't know if they've stood the test of time or not, but I guess we'll see. In the accessory packet, we had our, cream substitute, dry non-dairy, Domino sugar, salt, green pack of matches, spearmint gum, 2 packs of toilet paper, and a red Taster's Choice. And this time, if you guys can hear that, that sounds like it's perfect. Now, I'm someone who doesn't drink coffee, but I'll probably at least open this one up just to have a look to see if this is one that maybe actually did last and didn't turn into a bunch of dry mold. So, got our cocoa beverage powder already made up, got our granola bar, and then our chocolate covered oatmeal cookie, which looks absolutely immaculate, so got high hopes for that. Let's try a few of our side items first, I guess, before we go into the main. Just let that sit just a little bit longer. I think, sort of thinking about it now, I probably shouldn't have prepared it in the bag itself. This is plastic that was made back in 1998, and I have no idea how much BPAs could possibly be in that plastic. There might not be any, but there could be some. And yeah, there's a reason why BPAs aren't used in plastic very much anymore these days. But yeah, it's not like I'm probably going to sit down and eat this whole thing, but we'll see how it is. Let's try out a few things. Let's try out this first, because this is what I'm going to assume it's probably going to be gone bad the easiest. Everything seems to be in pretty good shape. This looks like it's a bit drier than it usually is. But yeah, let's give this granola bar a taste and see how it's fared. I don't know if it's just my palate, but I can't remember the last time I had a compressed granola bar that was actually good. They seem to be always the ones that go somewhat rancid the quickest. It seemed like it was okay at first, but after a few seconds, finally started getting that weird rancid oil kind of film in your mouth that then started to take on that kind of gone off kind of flavor. And yeah, not really enough to sort of cause like numbing of the tongue or the gums or anything like that, but just giving your tongue a little bit of a weird feeling. So yeah, that in my mind never lasts. You can get those sometimes in, the food packet survival general purpose. And in my mind, even if they're almost fresh, for some weird reason for my palate, they never seem like they're particularly great. Yeah, so that's that. Let's try one of these milk caramels, see if that's gone bad. There's probably a possibility, but we'll give it a try. Oh yeah, that's the milk in that has certainly gone bad. Let's see if we can wash this down. Now the cocoa beverage powder is actually good. Not great. I'm someone who's not a huge fan of cocoa beverage powder to start with, but that at least hasn't gone rancid. Oh, those milk caramels are absolutely horrible. The milk in that has certainly gone rancid over time. Oh, wow. That's not very good. Let's see. Let's try out the beef stew next. We'll leave what I'm going to assume is going to be the best item till last, and then we'll open up the taster's choice just to get a look at it. But this is our beef stew. As you can see, it's a fairly large portion, especially once you put 12 or 14 ounces of water in there. It seems to have reconstituted fairly well. As you can see, like any standard sort of Mountain House beef stew, you've got your peas and carrots and your chunks of potatoes and your chunks of beef. It seems to have reconstituted pretty well. I'll try to get a nice spoonful that's got a little bit of everything in there. Let's give that a try. That's actually not too bad. Much like most freeze-dried beef stews, and the vast majority of the ones you end up getting in rations, especially in the United States, obviously is going to be Mountain House. But it's very, how should I put it? Pea forward, I guess, is the way to put the flavor. But Mountain House usually, I think, gives like a 30-year time span for their best before on these things. And this right now is, what, 23 years old? So it's still technically within date. It seems kind of weird sometimes eating something that's, over 20 years old. But this is perfectly okay. Tastes great. Yeah, literally nothing wrong with that whatsoever. And I don't usually like cocoa beverage powder, but that's actually not too bad today. So this is a particularly light meal, I guess is the best way to put it. And it's supposed to be meant to be compact and lightweight anyway for being on, as the name implies, a long-range patrol. So we don't really have a whole lot left to do. We've got what I'm going to assume is going to be great. Hopefully I haven't got my hopes up really high and this ends up being rancid as well. So we'll try out our oatmeal chocolate-covered cookie. And then we'll at least have a look at the taster's choice and see how it's lived its life. So this is pretty immaculate, I gotta say. No bloom to it whatsoever. Chocolate's still nice and shiny. Chocolate's probably not supposed to be that shiny, but it's not like this is 100% pure chocolate. So, oh, it's mildly disappointing. The first few seconds was just amazing. You just think like, yeah, there's a reason why this is considered to be one of the best items ever made in a United States ration. And then just a little tiny tinge of rancidity from the cookie when it's over. So, very similar, obviously, to this bar, but on a much lighter scale. I mean, obviously the chocolate enrobing it has made things a little bit better. It's preserved it at least somewhat, but I guess it hasn't preserved it perfectly. It's still edible, but at the very end, just as you swallow whatever you've been chewing up, you just get that little tiny hint of rancidity that comes through, which kind of, is a little bit disappointing. But for something this age, I guess that's really not something that you shouldn't be too surprised about, I suppose. And this is it, guys. Like I said, I'm not going to mix the coffee up, but let's at least have a look at this taster choice and see if it actually is sensible. Now, that could be just oxidization, but yeah, there you go. Yeah, it's toast, like I assumed. It sounded at least okay, but it was in fact not. Now, there has been some research done by some members of mreinfo.com on that taster's choice, where some people wonder if it actually is, sort of white, dry mold, and there is some, I guess, some debate as to whether or not it's just sort of a different crystalline structure on the coffee, where it actually isn't mold, but I'd rather not take the chance. I am allergic to mold, so I had to make sure I washed my hands after I threw that away, just to be safe, but having a mold allergy, I don't really like to handle it if I absolutely don't have to. But yeah, that's it. So guys, this has been a menu number 2, 1998 food packet long range patrol. Sadly, the vast majority of the items in here haven't been that good. The cocoa beverage powder seemed good. Oddly enough, sometimes that actually goes bad while other things seem fine. But yeah, the granola bar was certainly gone bad. The milk caramels were very much gone bad. Sadly, the cookie, chocolate covered, was actually somewhat rancid as well. I'd sort of put that on the scale of being, it's still edible, but it's not great. And then the one really good thing, obviously, is going to be the main. This still stands up. It's 23 years old, but it's something from Mountain House, and the vacuum seal was still perfect on it. So that still had at least another 6 or 7 years left on its shelf life before that would have been even thought of going bad, if it was obviously I guess stored in a proper manner. So that's it, guys. Not really much else for me to say. I'm gonna hopefully, after this review, try to get another one done as soon as possible. I know it's been a little while since I did my last review, but work and all that kind of stuff usually gets kind of busy. Work will be over for me soon, obviously, once the summer arrives. But hopefully in the near future, I can get a few more reviews out and share them with you all. So like I always like to say, thanks a lot for stopping by, guys, and have a good one.